Okay, boys and girls and gentlemen, we're going to talk about pulse Doppler radars. Now, I got the wiki page up, but I'm not going to provide any graphics or anything. I'm just going to explain this, and I hope to dumb it down because I'll be honest, this is a lot of technical jargon that most people don't care about, okay? So, bear with me. The most important part is pulse Doppler radars use the Doppler effect. The Doppler effect is complicated, so you'll have to bear with me, okay? So, the way the Doppler effect works is it takes the position of whatever's firing the radar. So, for example, an aircraft, okay? It's shooting a radar out in front of it, and then, like, the radar waves kind of, like, go around, right? And if it hits something, it detects that the source aircraft is what's firing the radar, okay? It detects the movement and how fast the source aircraft is to whatever's hitting, being on the receiving end of the radar, okay? It is technically a change in the frequency of the waves in relation to the radar itself, but saying that is really complicated. I hope that helps you understand what the Doppler effect is, and pulse Doppler radar does that. It uses pulse and continuous wave radars, which continuous wave radars do exactly what you think. It's a continuous wave, right, of radar waves. They are radar. I'm not going to explain what those are, not because I don't know what they are, but because I don't feel like going down too much of a rabbit hole. I'm hoping to keep this short and sweet and let you understand what's going on as dumbed down as I can, because this is really complicated, okay? So bear with me. I'm not saying you're stupid, to be clear, right? But someone needs to dumb it down for everyone, because to be honest, they use big words for no good reason and gatekeep fucking science, and it's stupid, okay? So let's see, why is it talking about ramjet engines and shit? Pulse Doppler radars were first widely used on aircraft starting in the 1960s. Earlier radars used pulse timing, which is just pulsing the radar and then calculating how far something is, in between pulses and stuff like that. Pulse Doppler probably uses a continuous wave and pulses radars, but because of how complicated it was, they couldn't do it until the 1960s. They had to basically make everything small enough to do that, okay? And it's effectively the same thing as pulsing it, but like because there's a continuous, you can also do a lot more fine-tuning calculations. And what makes it really important is that because it's constantly and pulsing and finding out that something's moving, it's easier for it to filter out bad stuff, okay? Bad stuff TM, okay? So, for example, the ground is bad stuff, right? You don't want bad stuff. That said, something like, I'm gonna say 1,000 feet or so, radar becomes unreliable, so bear that in mind. I'm not gonna say that that's for sure 110%, but you want to be careful about radar at lower altitudes because it's not going to be as reliable. Most of the time, the most unreliable part of radar is whenever you have mountains, but it's something to think about. Pulse Doppler radars counteract the... Pulse Doppler radars make it where it can see anything that's moving in a space that could be that could have the ground behind it and would normally get filtered out because the ground is really complicated and reflects the radar waves back at the thing doing it. But because it's pulse Doppler, it's always going to know where the ground is, and if something else is moving anywhere along the ground, like above the ground, then it would get detected because it's closer, and the radar would be like, oh hey, there's a thing, and it would point it out. I'm hoping that's a good explanation. There's a lot more complicated stuff about it being the basis of other versions of radars. The most important part about it is the fact that it lets it filter out, you know, stuff that's bad, that it doesn't want to see, right? And then the computer systems do all of that stuff, and then, you know, you can see stuff at really low altitude now, and that's a big thing, right? Anything before 1960, any aircraft before 1960 couldn't actually see anything below several thousand feet, right? They couldn't see it at all. Like even like, unless, so what I mean by that is not if the host aircraft, if the one with the radar is at like 1,000 feet in the air, they can see everything above them. But if they're like 3,000 feet in the air, they can't see anything below them, and that's the important distinction there. It's also the principle for jamming, but we won't talk about that. We just wanted to talk about pulse Doppler. So, now that I've explained moderately well, I hope, what pulse Doppler is, I hope that you guys understand better what it's all about. Pulse Doppler is used for ATCs, aircraft, fighter aircraft, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's very important this day and age. And it's also used as the basis for other systems that are currently used in this day and age, and I hope that we get to them at some point, TM. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow for more, bye!